So this is Merrilee Moshier, class of 1966. I'm interviewing my friend Larry McNichols, who is the class of 1948. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay.
You know what? You're always right.
Let's listen to that. And Larry and I he lived in 52nd California, and I grew up at Happy Hollow, California. And I babysat his children, so I've known him forever.
Too long.
For both of us, yes.
Too long.
And he's from a storied family with many generations connected to Central.
Yes.
Do you want to start with your mother?
My mother went to Central in 1906 when they were still finishing the building.
And what was her maiden name?
West.
That's
Eloise
right.
West.
That's right.
And she graduated in 1910. Her three sisters also attended Central High. And they had a string quartet, as a matter of fact, of four of them, but that's another story. Anyway, my two children are graduates in the 60s from...
70s.
Yes, 70s.
Because I'm 60s.
How soon I forget. In the 70s, and here we are today in the, well, almost 2020. How old is Central? It goes
1859, theoretically. But
we went to the 150th, and that was 6 or 7 years ago.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Well.
So it's close to 160 years old. And by the way, the voice that's not on there is Pharoah, class of 66.
Thank you. The Cameron person.
Okay. All right. I can see we're going to cut this.
Hand me your pieces of paper that you gave me.
Oh, well.
Do you want to use those to refer to?
I don't need them. If I can't tell you the truth, I'll ad lib. Yeah, here's some
right.
other stuff.
All right, I will save these. Okay, so the Wests were early Omaha pioneers?
Yes, they were here in the 1880s. And as a matter of fact, they lived in the A.J. Poppleton house on 41st in Chicago.
No kidding.
A.J. was the lawyer for the Union Pacific.
Right.
And a city functionary of some kind or other, various jobs.
And went to Trinity Episcopal Cathedral.
And he certainly was. But it was virtually the only house in the block with wooden sidewalks, but we don't want to talk about 1905, do we?
So when you think of Central, what do you think?
Central was, from my standpoint, Central was very good for me, and Central was very good to me, because I had the opportunity to do a lot of things in extracurricular activities, and I had plenty of challenges in academics, and an opportunity, frankly, to meet the world. It's even more diverse now. It was diverse then. With the demise of Tech High School, I'm sure the racial mix has changed a little bit at Central, but we had the world. And when you deal with the world at that age, why then it becomes much easier as you deal with it later on.
That's lovely.
Well, a thought.
What teachers do you remember?
I don't want to paint one or the other.
Okay.
The biggest character I knew was a lady named Rosemont who instructed Spanish.
Rosemont.
And she was the biggest character. I had an opportunity, apropos of when I think of Central, I had an opportunity not only to continue studying Spanish, which I had in grade school, but do French with Bess Bozell, and then German. The first year that Central High School had German in 1947. It was cut out in 1940 for political reasons, but I had the opportunity to study with Ed, what's his name? Well, anyway, these are opportunities that Central gave me, but I didn't have it given to me on a silver platter. I had to earn it.
Sure.
It's like being in the National Honor Society. It's lucky you get it, but you also have to feel you earned it, which my kids did.
Yep. So how many generations of your family? Was it 4 generations?
3 now.
3, okay.
Yeah, the families came from Iowa, and so But for anybody who's going to high school, the opportunity to be challenged and to grow and to develop, because the world is not waiting for you at 20th and Todd Street. You earn your place, and Central High is a big help in preparing to do that. And
Definitely.
this is something that impressed me, that all the bright young people down there were challenged,
Right.
because nobody likes to be number two.
True, true.
My legal name is William Laird, and in grade school there were 5 of us who were Bills, and I didn't want to be Bill number 3. But it's William Laird actually, but that's where the Larry comes from, and the Larry comes from there was 5 Bills in my grade school class.
Which was Dundee.
So I went to Saunders.
Oh, no, what was your address? Was that the 41st in Chicago address?
Well, close.
Okay, okay,
It was North 41st Avenue.
okay.
I could roll out of bed when the last bell rang.
Yeah, my dad went to Saunders grade school too, but way before you.
Not much.
Well, 16 years. He graduated from Central 32.
Not much. Great year. Those who graduated in 1948, we had a very powerful ROTC program at that time. We had 4 infantry companies and a big band, all in uniform, and many of those went to Korea,
Oh,
as
yeah.
I did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to serve with the 17th Infantry in Korea,
Wow.
but
Was that after college or right after high school?
after college,
Where'd you go to college?
I went to Princeton,
I knew you were going to say that. Okay.
and when I got back, I went to Harvard Business School, but that's not Central High School. Although Central, again, to be honest, Central was a lever up to that college.
Yeah.
And the opportunities to be in extracurricular activities as well as academics were the 2 things that put me into that particular college.
What were extracurricular activities did you besides ROTC?
Oh, a band, orchestra, fall play, student council, and register staff, I mean, on and on. But this is one of the things that I was so impressed with that Central is the opportunity to get involved in these various activities and deal with people who were, some of them were really devoted.
Yeah.
Like the stamp club, these people were nuts. But the opportunities to deal with students on a different level, not as students but as friends, was very important to me. And
Well said.
every Friday, I have lunch with some graduates of the class. Every Friday we have lunch.
Where do you go?
Oh, we go around.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
2 weeks and we go someplace else.
Who else is in that group? In your classmates?
Oh, Jim Rosenquist is one, and John
Oh, yeah,
Peterson's
yeah.
another, and there are several in the group, but anyway, those 2 were particular. Both go back to grade school. Wow,
Isn't that wonderful? Yeah, me too. Me too.
that's Omaha.
It is Omaha.
When Lanning, I was at one time a corporate gypsy, and I was a sales manager down in Dodge City for a company, and Dodge City had not that many people, but 2 families took the Sunday New York Times, and the postman knew it. We were one of them. That's one thing about a small town, you can't get away with anything. But I digress. Hit the floor with that one.
Okay, lockers.
Like you, we had wooden lockers, and it was interesting, there must have been some kind of a magnet installed in some of those doors,
Huh.
because you would find a group hanging around particular
Oh,
lockers.
sure.
Mostly gentlemen hanging around a girl's locker, but that's another story. But, you know, you could put your fist right through the middle of it.
Oh, gee.
I have to admit that I went out the east door one time, and the wind caught it. The whole thing shattered behind me. I was
Oh.
lucky not to get
Wow,
caught.
wow.
I just kept on walking.
That's a windy spot.
Excuse me.
Mhm.
So
I'm awfully pleased that the Alumni Association is strong and operating, and as an opportunity for people to contact a source. The Alumni Association has provided me with names and addresses and so forth. Always very courteous people working there. I'm very proud of this organization. I really am.
But we work the Alumni Association works hand in hand with the foundation.
Yeah.
And we have I think, a wonderful relationship.
I do too.
We help each other, and it's a perfect setup.
There's nothing like it in town other than
That's true.
Central.
That's true.
I don't know if the Catholic schools have this.
Prep does, and Duchesne and Merrilee, and I don't know the rest. And Westside has a good group too, but I think we're more organized than most of the schools.
You just walk down the hall of Central and you can smell history. You really can.
I gotta write that down.
Whether it's wooden lockers or steel, I don't care. But you think about the long years of direction that the school has had, and it's kept up its standards, not only kept them up, but boosted them, I think.
Yep.
Which is very important for anybody who's interested in going beyond high school. And you better not just plan on high school unless you're going to go to a trade.
Right.
Now, this is something that I regret about Tech High School.
Mhm.
Yes.
That the Jocelyn Castle people moved down there and spent zillions of dollars and got rid of the technical side of things. And today, somebody who's a plumber, an electrician, somebody who's into these trades, they're going to do all right. They don't have to go to college to do that.
Well, they need training of a different
Well,
sort.
yes, you bet, and I'm sorry that Tech High didn't provide that.
I'm sorry that the city of Omaha isn't providing it.
Yes. Yeah. Now Metro College does.
Right, but in high school wise,
Right.
even South has dropped their technical side.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Well, it's a big world.
Well, it's a changing world, certainly. The guy who's a tradesman no longer is scruffing around in old clothes. I mean, these guys are doing very well.
Mm-hmm.
Just spend a couple of $1,000s to have your plumbing pumped sometime and just see how that is.
Those old house people, yes.
Ooh. Old house, yes.
Well, what else can you think you want to add for the film?
I have to recommend Central as a challenge, and young people need that challenge today. And in many cases, they're not getting it at home. Their families maybe have two income earners, and daddy is traveling all the time for his company or something and Central more or less fathers or mothers a lot of young people who otherwise would not have that kind of confidence built into them.
Sure.
And this is done academically, of course, and this is done with extracurricular activities, and I have to mention sports, because sports teach you some very good lessons, including keeping your mouth shut when you're hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I can vouch for that.
Right.
Wonderful.
But it was a great point of pride for me to go to Central, to graduate from Central, and to say I'm a member of the Central Alumni.
Amen.
I did attend 2 summers at Shattuck Military School. I was not gifted in the geometry field, and so I made up some things, but didn't flunk, but just the family thought I better learn geometry. And the military school is just such a different atmosphere. You don't make mistakes, or, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Central High allows you to make mistakes and then fix it.
Well
But,
said. Well said.
The Shattuck Military School, no man, no mistakes.
And I think the military schools are declining also now,
It is,
Huh,
the attendance.
I had a meeting in Minneapolis with Rotary, and on the way up, my wife and I stopped to see the campus, because I'd never driven it.
was it Faribault, is that where it is?
It's a beautiful campus, but it's now co-ed.
Hmm.
They had, they used to have two schools, a girls' school and the school, the military side, plus a grade school that also was military.
Huh,
And those are all gone now.
Mhm.
It's down to co-ed school. In a way, it's sad because they graduated a lot of future West Pointers.
And they straightened out a lot of boys.
Yes, we had some of those. Even in the summer school.
Mhm.
wonderful. Well, I want to thank Larry McNichols, class of 1948, for giving us some time. And Larry, you're an angel. This, you just,
I am?
This is wonderful.
All right. Well,
I love the way you express yourself here, and
thank you for the opportunity of
Yes.
serving,
yes,
because Central certainly served me.
wonderful.
It's nice to pay back.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Harold.